Hello, all. Welcome to the Heroes and Villains podcast on the Dopish Entertainment Network / podcast network. If you're listening to us, or you're seeing us on YouTube, or just maybe passing by someone's computer and they're checking us out, probably not. No one likes us. On this episode, well, I mean, I guess this is a serious episode. But, I'm just playing with the
serious people.
Anyway, guys, this episode, we're going to focus on, this week we lost Chadwick Boseman. So we're just dedicating this episode to him with no pull list this week. But we changed it up. We're going to give you 20 Black Panther storylines that you should probably check out if you are a fan of T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman's work with Black Panther. And then after that, we'll dive into black superheroes and what they mean to the culture and just what Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman meant to the MCU. So, bada boom. I'm here with Shanette.
Hello.
So Shanette, when you heard the news of Chadwick's passing, what did you think? First off,
well, when I first read it, honestly, I'm like, oh my God, did he die from COVID? But then I read the article. That was my first thought. And then I read the article and I'm like in complete shock because I didn't know he had cancer and apparently anybody else.
Yeah, nobody knew. Not even Kevin Feige found out the night before he died.
That's insane. I'm still shooketh.
Insane. It kind of sucks to be Marvel at this point because then they're like, what are we supposed to do? Do we recast? Do we make sure he go into Black Panther? But they're mourning, him as much as the fans are. Chadwick portrayed T'Challa, Black Panther, in 4 movies in the MCU. Starting with 2016, he was in Civil War, and then Black Panther, and then Infinity War and Endgame, where he had some pivotal scenes, really emotional, attaching scenes that glued the MCU back together. I would say, and just made the story better for what it was. He died from cancer, and no one knew exactly. No one knew that he had it, which is crazy. Cancer in itself
so crazy.
It is a crazy thing that he was battling for 4 years. And it's throughout everything, even the premieres, the stunts, he was doing surgeries and back-to-back chemotherapy sessions, and
during
it's
breaks.
Yeah, during breaks, during movies, he must have had it really hard to because it was already in stage 3 to go to stage 4. Yeah. So he must have had no time from remission. It was just back and forth. But he made 5 movies in between the time that he was diagnosed to his death. And even with Marvel, he still has one more thing under his belt, which is the what if. I think it was what if Black Panther was found instead of Star-Lord, and he became Star-Lord, and he did the voiceover for it.
Amazing.
So that's gonna come on. That'll be his last thing as T'Challa. But no one knows what goes on from here. Sure, you could recast him.
Yeah, they can, but they wrote a script for him.
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
The director of Black Panther is currently writing Black Panther 2. Oh my God, his name escapes me.
I was just
director.
Oh my God, I was just reading about his letter. I don't remember his name either. I literally was reading about it. Oh, the thing you sent us. Send us the article about the letter he wrote. What the hell is his name? I hate when this happens. We have stage fright, guys.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler. There you go.
Yes.
So
That's annoying.
Ryan Coogler said that he was writing the Black Panther 2 script with Chadwick in mind because he didn't know. No one knew. It's
not knowing he was sick.
it's so crazy because he was like, I was writing words that he'll never say, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like,
It's like so deep. Like I don't want to go that deep.
It's so like depressing because
it is.
Everybody like the Black Panther movie blew everything out the water. It
made
$1.3 billion. It was the first time that an all-black cast was cast in a movie of a superhero that was predominantly from an African tribe. You know, because you had Blade and you had Luke Cage, and those saw facets of black humility, but Black Panther showed, and even showed kids that are growing up, that you know you don't have to, because Luke Cage and Blade, they lived in the dark. They wasn't upfront with everything like in the media. You know, Black Panther, even in the MCU, you know, like at the end, he's like, you know, we're gonna share everything with the world. Oh, what does Wakanda have to offer? And you know, they have so much stuff. So it showed kids of a new generation that, you know, you could grow up to be a leader instead of a follower. And I think with Chadwick's passing, I mean, the movie will always be here, but you know, to not see him like fulfill another couple of movies, or even probably get with Storm. Ooh,
oh no!
I wanted to see that. Oh, I did want to see that.
It sucks.
It
sucks. It sucks. And like I was thinking about that too. Yeah, he was. And like the thing that I found really sad was like the pictures of like the little kids with their Black Panther like action figures, like having funerals. It's like, damn, like these little boys like really thought this was like a real superhero, and now he really died to them, and that's like so sad.
Like, yo,
man, like you can identify with a black superhero. Like that's not something that was common when we were growing up either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, Black Panther first started out in 1966 in issue 52 of Fantastic Four. And first they were going to call him Cold Tiger, like coal, like a black coal.
Awful.
Yeah, it's
like what you get for Christmas when you're bad.
Yeah, so the Cold Tiger, that was his original name. And
horrible.
When they changed it to Black Panther, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee made the character. And you know, Black Panther, his comics were always, you know, colorful and just pop out because he wanted to stand out as a character. And I forgot where I was going with this. So like I don't know now. Now it's like you know, because all those kids with the stuff around, you know, they believed in Black Panther. Like growing up, you know, like I don't have Puerto Rican or Spanish, you know, maybe what Menudo, I don't know, freaking. You know, it's
as far as superheroes go, no. Like the first really like prominent superhero that was like from a universe that we identify with or that's popular was Miles Morales.
The first. Well, yeah, it's Miles Morales. Yeah.
Like as far as Spanish.
Yeah, he's half Spanish. He's half Puerto Rican. But Black Panther was the first black superhero with powers. I mean, there was something before him, but it was a comic book. But he was the first one with powers. He was a king. So off the bat, like, you know, that's something that no one can recognize at first, because I mean, think about those years. It's 1966. You know, that's in the middle of the craziness. I mean, even
that wasn't allowed to be.
Even now, with what's going on this year, for this to happen, it's so ironically disabling that the quote unquote king of Wakanda, a black African tribe that's rich in culture, and even though it was a movie, but it's still it was more than a movie. It was a movement even, and then for like stuff that happened with George Floyd. Yeah, it was a movement. Yo, everybody was doing this. Come on, like everyone.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it was a movement. When that movie came out, like it was a movement. Like you saw people going to the movie theater in their like traditional African like clothes, and everybody, you know, with their
people. Oh my god, I totally forgot. People were going to the movies with African tribal
tribal wear.
That's crazy.
It was a whole like proud moment because that's never been a thing.
I haven't seen anything like with hand gestures so big, except for like WWF, the suck it thing. I have not seen anything as big as like that.
No, you're right. Like
other than that,
there wasn't really.
There was kids going to detention. Like, why being bad? Wakanda forever! You know, getting hauled off. I've seen, like, you know, like, I'm like, whoa. It's, you know, it was a movie, but at the same time, you know, movies influence people. You know,
yeah, and it was much more than a movie for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he portrayed, like, so much more than a character for a lot of people, for a whole culture.
Yeah, and even, you know, Eric Killmonger, like, he was a villain, but he was one of the villains where you're just like, that could be me.
Yeah.
I can understand where he's coming from, because...
Yeah, his angst.
Yeah, you know, his uncle killed his dad because his dad thought one way, but his uncle thought another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the flip of the Lion King, you know? Like, in some circles, people can say that Killmonger was like Simba.
Yeah.
You know, so it's... So even that part of the story was great, because then you're like, T'Challa, you know, you might be right, but you might be wrong. And the way he played it was, I'm a king, but also, you know, this comes with past aggressions, and I have to face everything before I can truly, like, take the mantle of the throne. So, which is something we've seen in MCU before, but we've never seen it in our world with black characters.
Right.
So it was something that was new to the table, as far as, like, you know, just a new point of view, basically. Yeah, but, you know,
super sad.
It is. It's so crazy, because the last time, like, okay, people die, right? And we don't know people. But, like, Stan Lee, when he died, that was sad, because I followed so many things. I think this is sad because he was so good. And as soon as he was cast, I saw 42, and I think I saw Get On Up. And then it was after 2016 where he made Civil War. He made the Thurgood Marshall story. And then I even seen, like, his, like, Howard University speech and stuff. And all things with, like, Denzel paying his way to Oxford for a semester and stuff, which is all crazy. But I think it was because he was such, like, he was like a Denzel. Like, that.
Yeah, he was just a genuinely good person, even if he didn't play a superhero. Like, he would go to hospitals and, like, see kids with cancer when he had cancer, and he didn't even tell anybody. Like, he didn't even, like, he didn't even look sick. He didn't have to do any of that stuff. He could have, like, been home resting, and instead he chose to, like, to speak out, you know, about the cultural movement that he felt compelled to speak about with Black Panther, and, like, all his humanitarian work. And, like, he was just a good person. And I think it's really, like, a loss. Like, I watched the 2020 episode they did on Sunday, and they were interviewing Robert Downey Jr., and he said, like, it's a void in the world to lose a person like that.
I mean, you think about it, you're like, some people are still alive that should probably take his place, but, you know, things happen for a reason, and, like you know,
not funny.
It's not funny, but you're like, someone said that.
No, it's true.
Somebody's like, damn, there's still people that I wish was dead, and Chadwick definitely should have died. But it is a loss that we'll feel, and definitely going to feel, in the MCU going forward. Because,
I mean,
even though Black Panther 2 is not in phase 5, I mean, it was going to come in phase 6. And, you know, we didn't really know what kind of plans they were going to have. We know that the X-Men and Fantastic Four are coming back in. Was Black Panther going to play a predominant role in leading the Avengers? Or was it Captain Marvel? Were they going to, like, was it going to be another Tony Cap dynamic with those two being both, you know, a woman who's a leader, but also a black man who's a leader that we don't see all the time? That could have been a great dynamic, as, you know, the MCU going forward being multicultural. Right. So,
but either way, we always anticipated that Chadwick was going to come back as Black Panther, no matter what.
Oh yeah, like
he did, and, like, now it's like, whoa, what are we supposed to do now?
Like, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. When at Endgame, when the portals open up and you first see T'Challa, people fucking lost their shit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even everyone. It was literally just T'Challa, Shuri, and fucking Michonne. I forgot her name from the movie.
I forgot her name too.
But they walked out and people just lost their shit.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, yeah, you knew who was coming, but Black Panther came back.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just the things he did in the end of the movie, like in Civil War, right? like Clint Hawkeye went up to him and he's like, "Hey man, we haven't met. My name is Clint," and T'Challa's like, "I don't care," right? But then when you go to Endgame, they meet up again, and Clint Hawkeye has the Infinity Gauntlet, the nano one, and then T'Challa's like, "Clint, give it to me," and I feel like I'm the only person that was like, "Yo,"
you remember
they were
his
like,
name.
he knew his name, like
Yeah.
what I mean? He's like, "Yo," he didn't really care before, but then like.
He was listening to him.
Yeah, so it's like now we don't get to see those dynamics that
right.
The characters that he had. He didn't even have a moment with Spidey except for getting the gauntlet and then like all the other stuff. So it is a loss because there's so many opportunities we could have had with him doing different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but on that note, we're gonna give you some storylines from Black Panther that we feel you should read. Now, this is from a list from Ranker, and I had to actually go through a couple lists because I felt like this one was the best one to do because it has so many. So, do you want to do one each, or are you on it right now?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll do 20. Like I went all the way down to 20, so that way I don't read the first one out loud.
So do you want to do it from 20?
Yeah. So
count
20,
down to 1?
20, 19, 18, like that.
Okay. I have to scroll down.
Yeah, it's yeah, you gotta scroll down.
All right.
All right, so these are the top 20 storylines in Black Panther history. So if you're not familiar, I mean, we just talked about it. Black Panther became a known character in the 1960s and the 1970s, getting his own comic book, which I have, but I've been remodeling, so it was right there.
I was gonna say there's a big empty space behind you.
I know. I got to put my posters up. I even got a Black Panther poster that I just got, which is crazy. I actually bought like 4 of the rarest Black Panther Funko Pops ever, and they are gorgeous. Okay, I
Oh
just
my
want to
gosh.
wait. You know
I have
what?
Shuri.
Wait, before we do this, I have to show you these because these are amazing. All right, this is the first one. This is Black Panther with his claw. He's purple.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
And then, Jesus, why? And then there was a blue Walmart exclusive.
Oh, that's sick.
Which was glow in the dark. I had to get it because Chadwick Boseman. And then there was a regular purple, but you could see his eyes.
Oh, I like that one.
Right, that's cool.
First one's my favorite so far.
Oh yeah, the first one because it was, and then, well, this is with the Darth Vader, but I'll show you. And then there was a variant where he was just all in black, which is cool too because you can see his eyes. Yeah. And then when I was looking for these, I was like, man, that's cool. And then I found this one.
It's so sad because the little face on the front is his likeness.
It is. It looks just like him. And then I found this one because I just feel like I have to get it because it looks so good too. I mean, it's not Chadwick, but it's Killmonger.
That's really cool.
So I'm getting those in. I bought them all. The first one was the most expensive.
Probably gonna get the first one too to go with my Shuri.
Yeah, I did want to get because right now actually on GameStop they have him without the mask for $4.
Really?
For $4, which is kind of sad because you're like, he just died. Like
I was gonna say,
shoot up the price, man.
More.
Yeah. So,
jeez.
Yeah. So hopefully I get those in sooner or later. I found my Avengers Endgame or Infinity War 6-inch figure Black Panther. I also had a Walmart exclusive. Is it right here? Let me see. Hold on. Hold on, I just want to show this. Oh, yeah. This is a Walmart exclusive that came out.
That's really cool.
I actually have been a Black Panther fan. I'm not a bandwagoner because he died.
Bandwagoner.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people might say that in the comments. Not a bandwagoner, yo. Definitely a Jack Kirby fan. So, number 20 in this list. It's called Death Calls for the Arch Heroes, and this is Avengers 52. Roy Thomas, John Buscema. It's a single issue that establishes the Black Panther as a worthy and valuable member of Earth's mightiest heroes. When it seems like several of the Avengers have been killed by the Grim Reaper, it's up to T'Challa himself to take on the tech-wielding villain by himself, proving that he can do more single-handedly than the Avengers can do as a team, which shows awesomeness because, you know, he whooped up the Grim Reaper, who an issue before was actually, you know, destroying the Avengers, and he took it upon himself
to save their ass.
Exactly.
All right, number 19 is World Tour, issue 25. This makes me super sad because we're never gonna get to see this in real life.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This takes place shortly after his marriage with Storm of X-Men. Here. This story sees T'Challa touring the world with his new wife in an attempt to advance the agenda of Wakanda and heal the wounds of the superhero civil war. It makes for quite an exciting honeymoon and strengthens T'Challa and Storm's relationship that we will never get to see play out on the big screen. And I'm so depressed right now.
But you know what's crazy though? Because he ended up with oh my god, why do I
Lupita Nyong'o?
Lupita, he ended up with her. So if Storm would have came into the mix, does that mean Lupita dies, or is there a love triangle? I don't want to see the love triangle, but like,
yeah, I don't either. But I also like when things are canon to comic books.
I know.
But it doesn't matter now because.
All right, so next up, 18. Everything Dies. This is a New Avengers number 1 to 6. Jonathan Hickman, which Jonathan Hickman is a great writer. I suggest you read some of his stuff. He tends more to be better with the like Avengers. He did House of M2. I mean House of X, the X-Men stuff that happened last year. Everything Dies carries a forbidden title, and it's the opening act of a truly epic Avenger story crafted by Jonathan Hickman that would take years to complete. In the first arc, the Illuminati is reformed, this time with the Black Panther as a willing member. Tough choices need to be made as a truly universal threat is discovered. No one makes tough decisions like the almighty King of Wakanda. So if you don't know who the Illuminati is, it basically was a group that started with Professor X, Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Reed Richards. And they wanted T'Challa to come before. He didn't. He felt as though Wakanda didn't need to be under the ruling of a group, but then he opted into it. So
number 17, Black Panther issue 513 through 518, The Man Without Fear. Few characters are as tied to their fictional birthplace as Black Panther is to Wakanda. We were just talking about that. But the series takes him to the streets of Hell's Kitchen. For those of you who don't know where that is, maybe it's in New York.
It is in New York.
For a true fish, I know, I'm kidding. For a true fish out of water adventure, with Daredevil temporarily thought dead, T'Challa agreed to take care of his old allies' neighborhood for a while, necessitating the kind of crime fighting that the Panther just isn't used to.
This actually is a great arc because it's T'Challa as Daredevil. Basically, it's written like that. Yeah, which is fucking it's dope if you're a Daredevil fan, and also dope if you're just a Black Panther fan because you see a different side of him. It's almost really dark. He's not in Wakanda, so he's not bound like a Superman would be bound to like saving people like that. He's in more gritty and stuff. Number 16, the Black Panther versus the Klan. And when I say the Klan, I mean yes, the KKK. That actually happened. That actually happened. It's in Jungle Action Comics number 19 to 24 and Marvel Premiere 51 to 53. The writers Don McGregor, multiple artists. It just makes sense for the most prominent black superhero to take on the most prominent racist organization, Wakanda Forever, and that comes to fruition when T'Challa takes on the Ku Klux Klan in this early and sprawling epic. Oddly, the tale was so sprawling that it had to take place in 2 different titles at the time, as Jungle Action was canceled partway through the storyline, but that didn't diminish the quality. So that's pretty. He's beating up the Ku Klux, like it's
I was just looking at the cover art.
I actually want to get this cover now because that looks cool.
Super dope.
I have. There's some on here that I have not read. Most of these I have, but I have not read this one. That's probably because it was in the. Yeah, it was
Jungle.
Yeah, that's definitely why. Next on the list.
Number 15, Avengers of the New World, Black Panther issue 13 through 18, writer Ta-Nehisi Coates. I don't know if I said that right.
I think you said that perfect.
After completing his epic first arc on Black Panther, world-renowned author Ta-Nehisi Coates took aim at the mythology and religion present in the fictional nation of Wakanda. Coates' first arc was highly political, but this one looks more at the nature of belief both in the Black Panther and the various Wakandan gods that empower him.
Nice. Great artwork by Wilfredo Torres.
Really cool.
That looks pretty dope. I want to get a picture of that, actually. Like a little 11 by 17.
Really good. Yeah.
Next one up, number 14 is Time Runs Out. Yeah, I wonder if I could find one. This is in Avengers 35 to 44 and New Avengers 24 to 33. Again, Jonathan Hickman is the writer of this. This is a part of the multi-year run on multiple Avengers titles, culminating in the epic Secret Wars event, and that's Secret Wars 2015, not the 1985 one. During his run, Hickman gave the spotlight to a multitude of characters, but none more so than Black Panther. And this story arc sees T'Challa making some truly chilling decisions for the betterment of Wakanda and Earth as a whole. This storyline, it almost makes him seem like a Tony Stark, where like Tony thinks everything's for the betterment of people, but he needs to step back. Maybe he's in too deep. I suggest the storyline. This one's a good one. I feel like that one should have probably been more higher on the list, but it's not my list. But it's good.
It's not my list. Number 13, Bride of the Panther. Issue 18 through 25. Writer Reginald Hudlin. The marriage of Black Panther and Storm of the X-Men proved to be controversial and relatively short-lived, but it gets off to a great start in this Civil War event with 2 rival factions of superheroes and loggerheads. Both sides agree to a temporary ceasefire so that they can attend a royal wedding in Wakanda. Though the ceremony is not without incident, T'Challa and Ororo Munroe are established as a couple right off the bat.
Boom.
That's interesting.
It's a great thing.
Marvel wedding.
Number 2, Marvel weddings. 12 is Enemy of the State 2. This is in Black Panther 41 to 45, which is 2000. Yeah. A sequel to the earlier Black Panther arc by Christopher Priest. This tale brings T'Challa into conflict with Tony Stark, with 2 of the mightiest minds in the Marvel Universe going head-to-head. Black Panther and Iron Man are perfectly matched in a multitude of facets, and Wolverine gets involved in their dispute to make things even more interesting. This is dope because this doesn't involve the Avengers. This doesn't involve the X-Men. This is straight up just characters interacting with each other. They have a problem. Even Wolverine comes in. So it's like those 3 characters are all stubborn in their own way. So for them to compromise is like a big step forward in their characters.
And it's like the dynamic between the 3 of them.
Yeah. Oh, this is a number
11, Infinity issues, Infinity 1 through 6, New Avengers 7 through 12, and Avengers 14 through 23, writer Jonathan Hickman. Marvel Comics history has proven that invading Wakanda is a lot like invading Russia in the winter. It just simply shouldn't be done. The events of Infinity were multifaceted, but the most intense part of the conflict featured the armies of Thanos attempting to take over Wakanda. Once again, Black Panther is on the front line of the defensive forces, and once again, he repels the invaders with supreme authority.
So this storyline is basically what you saw in Infinity War. That's where they took it from. Thanos, being Thanos, trying to take over everywhere, but he wanted the
snapping his fingers all over the place.
Yeah, he wanted the vibranium in Wakanda, and that's basically what happened on screen is what happened in the comic book. But it involved more like predominant Marvel characters, not just like Captain America and the Hulk.
Yeah, well,
being the Hulk.
The translation of books and comic books onto the screen are not always in detail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 10, Panther's Rage, and this is in Jungle Action 6 to 18. Now, Jungle Action was predominantly Black Panther, the same way that Strange Tales was a Doctor Strange book. The first major story arc in the history of Black Panther, this tale establishes a number of important aspects in T'Challa's personal story. His greatest enemy, Eric Killmonger, is introduced, and the reader is left with little doubt that T'Challa is the rightful ruler of Wakanda after their battle is complete. So this is the first. It's did I say number 6 to 18? I think the one on here 17 is the first Killmonger, but I could be wrong. But good thing he wasn't dressed like that, right? Because that's just like
I was just looking at it. I'm like, what is he wearing?
Like white short pants.
That was a good change for the movie. Not that outfit.
But that's what I liked in the movie, that he put little like balls.
The scars.
In his skin. Yeah, the scars.
Yeah. And probably not the. All right, moving along.
Yeah.
Number 9, A Nation Under Our Feet. Black Panther issues 9 through 12. This is also written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Marvel Comics pulled a real coup by landing Ta-Nehisi Coates, an award-winning and world-renowned author and journalist, as the lead writer for Black Panther. Coates immediately delivered a lengthy story that delved into the political history of not just Wakanda, but Africa as a whole. Not only does Coates examine Wakandan history, he makes some important changes that will be affecting Black Panther stories for decades to come.
Yes, this story arc, if you like mythology, African mythology mixed in with the comic books, this is the arc for you. This is pure Black Panther at its finest. There are better stories, but this one's like very political, but in the best way, not like
boring
prequel Star Wars way. Oh, look at that. Number 8, introducing the sensational Black Panther. It's Fantastic Four, number 52. Bada boom! Writer Stan Lee and the artist is Jack Kirby. Normally, the debut issues of classic heroes are a little too outdated to enjoy, but not so with the Black Panther. T'Challa first shows up in Fantastic Four 52, and that single issue establishes a lot about the African hero, creating an interesting enough backstory to springboard decades of tales from. Right from the start, T'Challa was a clearly unique character. The one issue. Wakanda Forever.
Number 7, Sturm und Drang. That's not English, but okay.
Yeah.
Black Panther issue 26 through 29, writer Christopher Priest. Unlike most superheroes, Black Panther is a monarch first and a crime fighter second, and this story takes full advantage of that by comparing T'Challa to his fellow superpowered rulers. Namor the Submariner, King of Atlantis, and Dr. Doom, ruler of Latveria. Guest star as the various attitudes and policies of these marvelous monarchs is explored in great depth. Dr. Doom looks sick on the cover of this.
Yeah, that's nasty.
So does that. He just looks like a Vulcan.
Oh, yeah. Number 6 is Enemy of the State 1. This is writer Christopher Priest. Black Panther number 6 to 12. Some of the best Black Panther stories are the ones that proves he's on a different level than most Marvel superheroes. Correct. And that's exactly what Enemy of the State does. When the United States government takes action against Wakanda, it puts T'Challa into conflict with a number of American superheroes, and he handles himself extremely well against dozens of the superheroes. This is basically... It says Enemy of the State, but I'll make the reference. It's like the Will Smith movie, just with T'Challa and superpowers and superheroes.
Yeah.
So you have like a Captain America who's gonna be like, "Oh, we should take you in," but T'Challa's like, "Nah, son, not today, bro." even though it's under the Marvel Knights banner, which is the more adult stuff back in the '90s or early 2000s, it's funny because in Civil War, it's kind of like Captain America takes the place of T'Challa. It's pretty funny. It's good read. It's just funny to see that dynamic.
Number 5, The Client, Black Panther issues 1 through 5, writer Christopher Priest. Christopher Priest is generally considered to be the greatest Black Panther writer ever, and his legendary run on the character begins with The Client. The story brings T'Challa into contact with Everett Ross, an American government agent who acts as the audience's point of view into the crazy and magical world of Wakanda, which happens to be undergoing an attempted coup at the time.
If any of you remember Everett Ross, he was in the movie, played by Bilbo Baggins.
Such a weird name.
No, that's not his real name. He played Bilbo in The Hobbit.
It's such a funny name. I can't
Bilbo Baggins.
Not hear it and not laugh. Yes.
Right.
Silly.
What was his parents thinking? My name's Bilbo Baggins. We're bad. We're evil. We're evil people. Number 4, See Wakanda and Die, which is Black Panther 39-41. This story arc carries an ominous title, and it's not much of an overstatement. Taking place during Secret Invasion. If you don't know what Secret Invasion is a storyline where the Skrulls attempt to be certain people from the Marvel Universe to try to take over the Earth. This arc sees a faction of Super Skrulls attempting to evade Wakanda, and the Black Panther repelling their invasion with extreme prejudice. Piles of Skrull bodies ensue, and a powerful message about the sovereignty of Wakanda is delivered. Yep, I know words.
I know how to read.
I know how to read.
Number 3, Who is Black Panther? Issue 1 through 6 of Black Panther, writer Reginald Hudlin. The short arc explores both T'Challa's past and his modern role as the King of Wakanda, and both parts of the story involve Ulysses Klaue, one of the Panther's greatest rivals. This arc was so beloved that it was chosen to be converted into a motion comic, which is available for viewing on Netflix and it's highly recommended.
I think it went off Netflix and on to Disney Plus, but I can't be 100% sure. I like how this looks because of John Romita Jr. If you know me, Spider-Man. That's all I had to say. Number 2 is Secret Wars 2015, number 1 to 9. Writers Jonathan Hickman. Like I said again, he does great with groups. The events of Secret War acted as a culmination of Jonathan Hickman's multi-year run on the Avengers titles, and it set the table for the future of the entire Marvel universe, taking place on a planet controlled by Doctor Doom. After the death of the multiverse, Secret Wars sees Black Panther getting his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet and taking the fight back to Doom in an epic clash of the marvelous monarchs. It's a good storyline.
Secret Wars for this is super dope.
And number 1 is
Killmonger's Rage. Black Panthers, issues 16 through 20, writer Christopher Priest. A spiritual successor to Panther's Rage, the story arc explores the long-burning rivalry between Black Panther and Eric Killmonger, his greatest enemy. Once again, the legitimacy of T'Challa's monarchy is called into question, and once again, he proves himself as the true and rightful king of Wakanda.
Bada boom. And that is the top 20 list. I wonder how long that took. I don't even know. So that's the top 20 Black Panther stories we feel you should read if you want to know more about Black Panther, or maybe you don't even know about Black Panther. These storylines and story arcs will allow you to get to know it better. I will put a link on the description below, so you could go to that link and read all about the stuff yourself. You can even buy some of the comic books online on Amazon and stuff like that. So moving along from that, since you did lose Chadwick Boseman, and also, we're up in the air with our predominant hero, Black Panther, I felt it was good to possibly look into Black superheroes as a whole, because there is few, but the ones that are here are like awesome to comic book readers. So I'll dive into this really quick. I mean, there's how many we have on here? Is it 18? 17, right? Okay, so
a quick countdown.
Like a quick countdown? Sure, we could do quick countdown. All right, so the first one is Ngozi, which is the first Nigerian superhero. Basically, it was written by a Nigerian American, Nnedi Okorafor, and it tells of a young girl who's inspired by Nigeria's kidnapped Chibok girls to become a hero. So after being paralyzed from a bus accident, the Venom symbiote binds with her, giving her amazing powers. Basically, just like Flash Thompson did with the Venom symbiote, and she becomes T'Challa's official successor. So maybe in a future movie we might see that. That could be what happens maybe with Shuri though, because I feel like everyone is wanting Shuri to go and be the Black Panther that we all need. But then again, she doesn't have a secondary character to bounce off things like T'Challa did with her.
Yeah, like they have that relationship.
Yeah, so I feel in my heart, I feel that Killmonger should just still be alive.
Probably.
In some aspects.
In some ways.
I think he should be an anti-hero and be a king, but also, he's probably gonna mess up again, but not in the worst way, something like that. I'll just briefly go over each one, and you could do like the top 5 or top how many.
Alrighty.
Actually, if you want to, you could do the next one.
The next one is Shuri. Hey!
Hey!
She's the Princess of Wakanda, the nation's smartest inventor. Shuri is nothing if not a badass. I love Shuri. Her accomplishments, while a driving force in the recent movie, are even more pronounced in the comic universe. And like we were just talking, she is Black Panther's right-hand woman.
Yeah, she is. The blood of the king flows through her, so she could be the first queen of Wakanda. That could happen. And that could be a good dynamic in the movie where they'll be like, oh, there's a queen. No, but there's never been a queen. And then you could have Black Panther 2 dive off the deep end towards like women's rights or even colored women's right. It can dive into different facets, which would make this series as a whole something super duper impactful. So the next one is Moon Girl, named Lunella Lyafet. She's a inhuman breed. She's also the smartest person in the Marvel universe. So
she's also 9.
Yeah, she's 9 years old.
It's weird.
You do the next one too, which will probably be coming out soon. I'm not gonna.
Next on the list is Ironheart, Chicago native Riri Williams. Super genius teen who went to MIT at 11, created her own super suit at age 15 in hopes of helping heroes. And soon after, Iron Man took her in and chose her as his successor when he went into a coma in the second superhero civil war.
Yes, this is Iron Man Part 2.
Cool stuff.
So hopefully they take her in too. Next up, Static Shock. If you don't know who Static Shock is, come on, you have to have seen at the WB. Virgil Hawkins gained his abilities after his town police exposed him to deadly tear gas, and he has electricity flowing through his body. He's a DC hero. Go give him a look. Ooh.
12. Yeah. Sorry.
I'm trying to do this as fast.
All right, 12, Spectrum. This is also a Marvel character introduced in 1981, Monica Rambeau. She's from New Orleans. She's a harbor patrol lieutenant who gained her powers after criminal scientists blasted her with extra dimensional energy. Pretty cool.
Spoiler alert, Monica Rambeau was in Captain Marvel.
Isn't that her friend?
Yeah. All right, moving along. Batwing. For the DC Universe's secret identity, David Zamvimwe is a Congolese-born superhero with an intellect and ability that rivals Batman. He's basically Black Batman?
DC.
What?
African Batman. African Batman.
He's African Batman. He's
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he is. It's like I hate to do like Black Superman. Black.
But he is.
No, but that's what he is. I didn't make it.
All right. Number 10 is Lucas Bishop. First announced in 1991, born in an alternate version of Earth, where most of the X-Men are dead, and mutant hunting robots called Sentinels have taken over. Yeah, Bishop. No, X-Men Days of Future Past, if you don't know what movie that's from.
Next up is Nubia, which is the twin sister of Wonder Woman. That's it. She has the same powers, everything. Nubia is Wonder Woman who's black. Next.
Classic. Number 8. Blade. You don't know who Blade is? Maybe you live under a rock.
Yeah, man, everybody knows who Blade is. He's the living vampire. Man, that's Morpheus. No, he's
portrayed by Wesley Snipes in the Blade movies. Go watch them if you haven't seen them. Number 8.
Number 7 is Vixen. Basically Black Panther, but she could change it to animals, and she's a part of the DC universe. She was introduced in 1981 to combat the Black Panther, but a woman version, basically. Number 6.
6, and possibly my second favorite on this list, Storm. If you don't know who Storm is, you're also living under a rock.
Yeah, man, Storm. It's in her name, Storm. What does she do, Storm?
Roro Monroe is her real name. If you don't know that, fun fact.
Boom. She controls the weather. Actually, you know what? I was reading something that was like, nobody knows how strong Storm is, because if she could control water, that means she could control atoms.
This is true.
So you don't know how strong she could be. She could build like a force field and fly in space. That's what I feel like she could do. So Black Lightning debuted 1977 as DC's first black superhero. He hails from the fictional Suicide Slums. Basically, he could create electricity. He vows to better his neighborhood and fight for justice. And it's a CW show, so
of course it is. Number 4 is Misty Knight. Before there was a Winter Soldier in his bionic arm, there was Misty Knight in hers. She's a Marvel hero. She appeared in 1975 as a native New Yorker cop who loses her arm, and Tony Stark designed the bionic arm with special abilities. And she also appears in the Netflix series Luke Cage. So check that out. Misty Knight.
Yeah. Number 3 is Django, and this is basically it's a show that aired in Africa. It's about a guy named Eli King who discovers a crystal that gives him supernatural powers and abilities, and then vows to find whoever killed his father and stop a team of villains powered by similar crystals and fulfilling a potential devastating ancient prophecy. It's Black Panther in Africa, so it's the same thing, but it's made with African
actors,
an African network and actors. Yeah. So number 2,
Luke Cage. The only black superhero that predates Luke Cage in Marvel canon is Black Panther himself. Luke Cage is from Harlem. He debuted in 1972 after a government experiment, went wrong, just like how every superhero is created. There's an original Netflix series, pretty good, until it's not.
Once they kill Cottonmouth, man, it just Mahershala Ali.
I said it's good until it's not.
He's good until it's not. And the number 1 hero on this list of
my favorite
is my favorite too, because Spider-Man's the best. I mean, we're talking about Black Panther, but in my mind, which is also the real answer, the best superhero is Spider-Man. So what did the early 2000s bring to us? It brought us a half Puerto Rican, half black Spider-Man named Miles Morales. An African Latino teen was written into the Marvel canon after being bitten by a radioactive spider and taking over Peter Parker's Spider-Man mantle. Um, I love the character. He's the best. I mean, he's basically Spider-Man's Robin, but at times he has different powers. Like he can be invisible a little bit. He spits like venom, which is he has kind of more powers than Peter, but he doesn't use them all. He's like half in, half out sometimes.
Well, he's also a kid in high school.
That's true. So he'll grow into the powers.
Yeah.
But in his universe, before they combined them, because now they're combined. But before then, his Peter Parker died. So then he had to take over the mantle of Spider-Man, which I think he did a great job. The character's really well done. He has the same tropes as Peter, the same struggles, but also the same thoughts with different situations. He's newer, so he gives him a naive feel, but at the same time, he knows what's good and what's wrong, which makes a good superhero, which means that it doesn't matter by the color of your skin or where you hail from. If you believe in good and bad, if you believe in good and not in bad, you can triumph as a hero. Boom, nailed it. Let me see where we're. Oh yeah, we're good, man. We're good to end this episode of Heroes and Villains. If you liked it, let us know. If you didn't like
tell us if you like us.
Tell us if you like us. Again, we did lose the Black Panther. Maybe have like a moment of silence for Chadwick Boseman, really quick. Word. Wakanda forever. Boseman forever.
Boseman forever.
Yeah, and that's gonna end it for this week, guys. Check us out next week. We'll have the pull list back up. More stories from around the way. I don't think
the nerd universe of universes.
Hopefully, I get those Black Panther
Funkos.
I want to show you this Funko, but I'm like, should I? It's a Black Panther episode. This has nothing. I'll probably wait till next. I just got a 10-inch one. It's pretty sick.
You can debut it next week.
Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, man, let us know what you thought of the episode. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Dopish Network. We're here every Tuesday. This week was on Thursday, Friday-ish, because of, just trying to fit together a good episode to honor our Black Panther. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. We're out.